Our actions have consequences, sometimes far-reaching consequences, even consequences that affect our children. Your career choice has implications for your children's lifestyle. If you never aspire to anything higher paying than being a clerk somewhere, then your children probably are not going to be able to live in a giant mansion and have five-star restaurant meals every night. That's not going to happen. But what did the children do to deserve such a humble lifestyle? On the flip side, what did the silver spoon kids do to deserve their lifestyle? If you abuse alcohol and drugs during pregnancy, and that has an effect on your child, a negative effect, what did the child do to deserve that? God says this in Exodus chapter 20, I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the fathers to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. But what about Deuteronomy 24:16? Fathers are not to be put to death for their children, nor children put to death for their fathers. Each will die for his own sin. And Ezekiel chapter 18, the soul who sins is the one who will die. And that, of course, sounds like a little bit of a contradiction, don't you think? Are we punished for our parents' sins, or are we not? The first thing that we need to realize here and clarify is that there is no one without sin. There's no one who does not deserve any punishment. Everyone deserves punishment. We are all sinners. And the second thing to realize is that there is a difference between punishment for a specific sin and the consequences of sin. So just as how you live your life before your child is born has effects on the child's life, so also God wanted his people to understand that their actions had consequences. The things they did had consequences. That doesn't necessarily mean their sins indicted their children, but the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. And so if they lived their lives in sin, and that's what they could be characterized by their whole lives, then they could pretty well expect that this was going to be pretty similar for their children. This was going to have an effect on them as well. Now in Exodus 20, it says, of those who hate me. That's very important. So God punishes the children for the sins of the fathers to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. So again, there's no one who doesn't sin. There's no one who doesn't deserve any punishment from God. That's everybody. But when it talks about death, God says that's for your sin. The soul who sins is the one who will die. The wages of sin is death. You sin, you die. And if your whole life is characterized by that sinful behavior, then that is going to have effects. If the consequences of your sins follow you around all the time, that's going to have an effect on the people who come after you, including your children. I'm Pastor Clinton. God bless your efforts to learn from his truth.